Blessings and love from beautiful Ventura. It is an incredibly gorgeous, tranquil island, and I'm feeling very grateful to come to you from this very nurturing land. There's a lot of volcanic rock, a lot of lava energy, quite like ancient codes, and it's said to be in the arena of where Golden Atlantis once resided, and the waters are absolutely beautiful. So I hope that I can bring some of these beautiful codes to you. Thank you for joining me once again for our Divine Energy update. So we are moving into June, and there is a deep energy of initiation and rebirth in different ways. So June, July and August are heralding a different landscape of energy, and I hope to be able to speak through some of the energetics. Now, the beautiful astrologer Molly McCord has been speaking about the energies for a long while now, in terms of the mid of 2025 of being this real revolution, and almost like a whole new emerging of consciousness coming through to initiate the new. So we've got Saturn moving into Aries, and Saturn is, as we know, the archetype of responsibility. It's how we create in the physical. It gives us the real embodiment in the physical of creating our reality. But moving into Aries, and Aries being the first house of the zodiacal wheel, the Aries energy is like the Fool's card in the tarot deck. It's initiating a whole new journey. So when we're working with these two energies, we know that we're looking to birth something new into the physical. Now, that is in conjunction for 3 months with Neptune in Aries. Neptune we can perceive as unity consciousness. It's our spiritual path, it's our spiritual evolution, and it being in Aries again being the initiating energy, wants to bring in more of our spiritual higher consciousness codes into Saturn the physical, so we can create a new birthing of a reality that honors our spiritual truth. When I feel into spirituality, I feel into what is alive within us at a soul level, that feels completely in integrity with our authenticity, with what we find beautiful and what we value on this beautiful planet. So feeling into that, a good journal prompt might be, what am I looking to initiate and to create that is part of my spiritual, authentic soul truth that I can land in the physical and start really building momentum with? There's a beautiful sextile with Pluto in Aquarius in this 3-month period. So June is the real precipice of change of energetics. And as we know, Pluto being in Aquarius and us moving into the Aquarian age, it's all about galactic consciousness. It's about humanity being a global family. It's about working for the highest divine good and growth. It's about working with technologies and ways of thinking to really honor who we are as a global family. So that sextile with Pluto and Aquarius will revolutionize, because Aquarius is the sign of liberation and freedom and revolution and rebellion, but there may well be a revolution of consciousness within us, dictated by that Plutonian energy moving through us, which is our higher soul death rebirth, higher soul transformation, that wants to break templates of the old that are not serving this new order of unity consciousness, where we are all one and we are not in service to self. In this dynamic that's at play at the minute, we may well see where that old order of energy is at play where it is service to self, where it is ruled by the shadow ego of greed, of power, of control. So some astrologers talk about this as the bifurcation. So the bifurcation of consciousnesses. So as we know, our consciousness is birthing new earth. New earth isn't something outside of us. Fifth dimensional consciousness or new earth consciousness, 4D consciousness, this emerging new earth is actually how we birth that new consciousness through us. So as we're birthing these new codes, as the planetary archetypes move through us, as we're one homogeneous mass of consciousness, those beautiful planets are literally giving us a discourse and asking us where we want to initiate the new that feels in total resonance to our heart's authentic truth, i.e. what lights us up at soul level. Now, interestingly, because June is really a sun in Cancer energy, we move into the divine mother, the lighthouse within. We're looking at moving into these new timelines whilst going through quite a deep purification and detoxification of our emotional feeling body. So as we birth these new consciousnesses, we'll be initiated into where we're holding these old codes, old behaviors and old patterns that are not serving this new consciousness, this new oneness, this new unity that wants to be birthed. So we may feel intense emotion and sensitivity through June as this Plutonian energy is working with Aquarius, and as the sun in Cancer is asking for a whole new rebirth of our emotional self. So we might feel into, especially with Cancer energy, around childhood wounding, the inner child. We will be initiated into leveling up more of a mastery of how we parent our inner child. So we'll need to anchor more of a divine energy balance between the masculine and the feminine, the mother and the father, the king and the queen, to really parent what might be rising in terms of old codes. Now, Molly talks of this in terms of like clearing our Akashic records. So it's almost like a cleansing, a detoxification of old timelines and energetics that we may have experienced in the past, but are needing to be detoxified and cleansed so we can birth these new revolutionary beginnings. Knowing that this Plutonian energy, and there is a good amount of square energy in June, knowing that we're always going to be moving through contraction to expansion, we'll be moving through our edges, we'll be moving through some of our old programming and conditioning that isn't supporting this new birthing, and there may well be an emotional cleansing, detoxification and reparenting of the inner child for us to move into these fresh new beginnings. So really allowing us to align and rebalance and connect with how we are feeling, and being really careful that we don't drop into the shadow response whereby we might go into hyper defensiveness or attack or anger, but rather deal with these emotions in more of a shamanic process way. So allowing ourselves to feel the feeling, but then maybe allowing processes to move that energy. So if sacred rage comes, then we can drum, we can dance, we can scream into a pillow. We might want to potentially cathartically allow ourselves to write down everything, or a letter to a person that we may well want to clear the energy field with, but not necessarily give to, just so we can really move the energy. So the process of dear whoever the energy is kind of initiated with, writing down everything that maybe you didn't say to that person but you need to say, and then have a ritual fire to really help to transform that energy and to release and let go. We have to be careful with Cancerian energy as it moves through us, that we don't cling on to the past. Cancerian energy in its shadow is very, well, in a positive way, it's nostalgic, but if it's hanging on to nostalgia, but also woundings, especially in a child woundings, it can become very destructive. So allowing this Sun in Cancer energy to really move through us any purification of the feeling, emotional bodies, or if it's fear, rage, limiting beliefs, all of that may come up to rise and to cleanse, and it's to honor that process, to really anchor that energy, which will be a massive service to us. Is Divine Feminine Venus is moving into Taurus, which means we get an anchoring of self-love, self-care and self-nurture. So all of the self-care rituals, all of the grounding barefoot on Mother Earth, all of the connecting with the ocean, all connecting with the land, connecting with trees, connecting with animals, connecting with your heart in meditation, yoga, qigong, energy healing, massage. It would probably be a good month to potentially seek self-help, so maybe inner child healing, psychotherapy, all of this energy that comes to feed us. So that Venus in Taurus is beautiful for allowing us to get back into the senses, getting back to what it is to be a human being in this reality, and really embody all of our union energy, so we can be channels for this new consciousness that wants to move through us, channels for this new Neptunian, fifth dimensional, new earth coding that wants to come in, so we can start building in the physical these new timelines. The big theme with Cancer energy is like feeling safe, allowing ourselves to feel fully safe, like really nurturing the home, the family, it's the fourth house, and really creating that lighthouse within. So inner work in June is going to be really, really key. So ensuring that our diaries are not maxed out, where we're not able to have time to take a breath, to grid, to ground, and to come into our yin beingness, so we can really acknowledge what is moving through us, so we don't go back to the old codes, but we release the old codes so we can birth the new. The energy of Taurus is working really beautifully with Mars moving into Virgo. So if we fit into Virgo as the healer, the priestess, but also the intelligence of the mind, to bring in method, to bring in structure, to bring in a process, so we can cleanse and purify and make light or lighter or higher vibration our daily activities, and how we are of service on this beautiful planet. So this divine feminine, sacred masculine energy is going through a rebalancing, and it's very much about nurture and grounding and gridding our light in the safety of our lighthouse temple within, so we can birth with the strong influence of Aries, which is the first house. It's warrior, it's the light warrior, it's initiate, it's using that fire energy to initiate the new. So allowing ourselves to feel into where we can come into more of our emotional mastery, feeling into where we're able to really honor this fresh new beginning, transformation, and with any transformation there will be a release. There will be an ending of old timelines. There will be an ending of where we just don't feel like we've got the energy to keep moving into or gifting to that thing. That might be a job, it might be a relationship, it might be a belief pattern, but there has to be endings for new beginnings. So really feel into nurturing the wisdom of your beautiful heart, of your inner child, of this new consciousness that wants to flow to make these new beginnings. Know that we're being initiated through emotional mastery, and we're going through a big growth period of creating safety within and not looking for validation outside of ourselves, but finding that validation from our own mother and father within, and really allowing the releasing and letting go of just what is not feeling in alignment for our energy anymore, and allowing this balancing of the masculine and feminine to really honor this up-leveling of the nurturing and parenting of our inner child. So just to complete, just calling in these beautiful angel crystal cards by Diana Cooper, and this really typifies the energy beautifully. So we've got bless your heart, this is speaking, I'm feeling, to the Cancerian energy of nurturing and gridding and grounding and being very, very, very compassionate. If the wounds of the heart, having had many, many timelines and many experiences of that heart energy that needs to be honored as the alchemist and the cauldron of any energy that needs to come up and through, that wants to be released, so we can have a new emotional beginning, so we're able to connect with others of a similar frequency in a much more intimate way. Spiritual path and divine intervention, I feel, are speaking to the Aries and Neptune energy, which is really bringing in more of these source codes, along with these incredible solar flares that we've been having, along with some very deep Gaia codes moving through and up and out into the field through the solar flare activity, but also from the land, from the waters, and allowing this divine intervention of light shift out and off this planet all of the self-service, power-hungry dynamics that have been at play on this planet for far too long, and allowing ourselves to grid into our complete spiritual truth, so we're able to anchor these new beginnings in the physical in real time. And then the natural beauty and authenticity, along with time and self-care, is this Venusian energy in Taurus, along with the Mars and Virgo, looking for us to really embody more ritual around our self-care, more wisdom around what it is for mind-body connection, gridded health and well-being, light and love energy, and really allowing ourselves to honor our own beauty, honor our own sacred vessel, honor the health of our mental body, honor the wisdom of our hearts, and allow our body to rest, to heal, and to revive, and to potentially purge and detoxify what is not needed. So June's a beautiful month for feeling into any practices that can support you in raising your light and vibration. And it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to be here from this gorgeous island of Ventura. I'm sending so much love and light and deep, deep, deep blessings. So much love.